Hey, what is the assignment topic again?
Increasing the oil price.
Oh, so did you find any information about that?
I found a news that the Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir has said that the price of petrol will no longer be fought on a weekly. He also said there will not be more price fluctuation and the present fixed price will stay. If there is not enough, the government will subsidize.
I think this information is suitable for our assignment.
Then this is suitable for introduction.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yes.
Then how about the content impact of increasing in the oil price?
Oh, I think I can find some information from the internet.
Actually, for the positive impact, what I know that is Malaysia is a major exporter of the liquefied natural gas. So the price of the liquefied natural gas is closely linked to the oil price. So when the oil price increase, the liquefied natural gas also will increase. So based on what I researched just now, you see, the governments will earn a lot of revenues for about 14.8% of the total budget revenues. And the Star Online said that the Dato Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said that for every increase of $1 per barrel in the global oil price, the Malaysia will gain about 300 millions for the revenues.
Oh, okay. So I also found some information from internet. So since increasing the price of the country income is a good news to the local country, because the additional revenue obtained can be used to finance different instruments that bring improvement to a country or economy. The revenue that obtained from exporting the oil to other countries at an increased price also can be used to implement different major development plan that can bring more improvement of life for every citizen. The income obtained also can use to decrease the national debt, which is a serious consequence, which is quite serious nowadays for our own country. And by the way, I also found another information is about the way of using the revenue, which is another way of utilizing the revenue from the government income improve the facilities of the infrastructure that may bring even more welfare for our citizens. So do you think it's okay for this?
I think it's okay, and we need to summarize it in our assignment.
Okay.
So what about the negative impacts? Anyone have any ideas?
Based on the macro reference book, I found that there have a lot of negative impact to Malaysia economic because of the oil price increase. For example, it will impact the economic, monetary policy, rise of inflation and others. The increase in oil price will cause the price of goods increase due to the transport cost will rise and will also lead to the higher inflation. Consumers also need to face the higher transport cost and need to pay more than consume the goods. The increase in oil price will lead to the slower of economic growth. Because they needed to face the fall in discretionary income due to without the compensation of rising income to handle the daily expenses. People need to pay higher price to get a lower living standard. It's a serious issue to the people who have spending weak. Moreover, the rate of inflation has an important impact of the value of the country currency. The higher inflation level will lead to the value of currency depreciate, and the depreciation of the currency, it will lead to the investment decrease due to the company cannot ensure that how many profit and revenue they can get in the future. And it will also lead to the country have the lower export and people will spend less. It will cause the GDP of the country decline due to the higher inflation. And that's all.
Oh, no! I found a new point. As you mentioned before, when the oil price increases, the consumer will reduce their expenses as they do not able to reduce the consumption of oil. This will lead to a decline in the GDP growth. As we know, the income of Malaysia will increase when the oil price increases. However, if the rising of oil price is too much, demand of the oil will decreases. If a new oil is found, the supply will increase and the demand of oil that exported by Malaysia will decrease too. Machines need oil to produce output. Tractors are the machines that used in agriculture sector for planting, plowing, cropping, and also pull or push the machinery. Therefore, rising the oil price will burden the farmers. This is because the farmers will need to spend more money to purchase oil for the machinery. The higher the production cost, the lower the output produced. Then the price of the output they will purchase by the households will become higher too.
Yes.
I strongly agree just now you are saying about the negative impact and also the positive impact of the oil price increase. Actually, I have drafted a conclusion in my handphone. In conclusion, they will bring a negative impact and also a positive impact to our country when the oil price increases. Based on our research, increase in the oil price will be a good idea for the Malaysian government to earn the revenue. Malaysia's government is depend on the business oil export to our country's economy and decrease the national debt of Malaysia. Increase in the oil price may bring a lot of benefit to Malaysia's economic growth. Nothing is ever entirely good. Oil price increase will lead to an inflation in Malaysia. Oil price increase and also lead the transportation cost increase. Nowadays, Malaysia more reliant on the technology to produce the product. Some company will feel fear of the price of oil increase. They will choose produce less output by using more the labor to replace the technology because the oil price increase. In this case, the consumer will choose spend less money to buy the goods and services. Therefore, the higher the rising of oil price, the bigger the impact. Especially Malaysia should pay more attention to the changing in the oil price because Malaysia is a net oil exporting country. Okay. So that's all for my conclusion. So how was it? It's okay?
Okay, I think it's okay.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay.
I think we all get some idea for our assignment. So I think it's lunch time now. So have a lunch now.
Okay, let's go!